have a look at the Bernie Sanders rally that took place on campus over the weekend, plus a look at a Little Shop of Physics show, too. All this and more coming up on CTV News. Welcome to CTV News. I'm Willis Scott.
And I'm Cassandra Ozee. Here's your latest Fort Collins news.
Fort Collins police are asking for help locating a hit-and-run driver who struck and seriously injured a pedestrian overnight. Emergency crews were dispatched just before midnight to the intersection of Spring Park Drive and College Avenue. Authorities received reports of a man lying in the middle of the southbound lane. When they arrived, they found 53-year-old George Taylor, who, according to police, had injuries consistent with being hit by a motor vehicle. The investigation is still ongoing and no description of the vehicle has been released. Anybody who has information about the collision who has not already given a statement to police is asked to contact Officer Drew Jerkovsky at 970-416-2224.
Super Tuesday is today. 10 states are holding a caucus for both Republicans and Democrats. 2 states are holding a caucus for one party only. Colorado is holding a Democratic caucus. On Sunday, candidate Bernie Sanders came to speak at Moby Arena in Fort Collins to promote his campaign before Super Tuesday. Our reporters were on the scene to see what Bernie Sanders means to CSU.
Honest, revolutionary, and much needed.
Honesty, kindness, and peace. Honest, ethical, open-minded.
Bernie Sanders rallied Sunday at Moby Arena in front of thousands of his supporters. His visit to Fort Collins comes just before the Colorado Democratic Caucus on Tuesday, March 1st. He touched on a variety of issues ranging from economic to social issues. Senator Sanders emphasized his plan to relieve student debt and make all public colleges and universities tuition-free, as well as providing universal health care for all Americans.
I like his stance on colleges. I mean, I don't think that anyone should have to go into debt to get an education, but also on health care. I mean, that's a big one for me. I don't think that anyone should be one health emergency away from having to declare bankruptcy.
Today, a college degree in many respects is the equivalent of what a high school degree was 50 years ago. And that is why I believe that when we talk about public education, we have got to make public colleges and universities tuition-free. We should join the rest of the industrialized world, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Holland, Scandinavia, Canada, every major country on earth, in saying that health care should be available to all people as a right.
In addition to speaking on economic issues, Bernie also emphasized social inclusiveness in regard to his campaign, which is a key reason why many of his supporters identify so well with his message.
He's going for the whole my idea of intersectionality, wanting to include trans women, people of color, queer people. He wants to include all of us and make sure that our wants and our issues are at the front, at the front lines, and not kind of being pushed to the side, kind of like Hillary is.
We're going to win the general election because our campaign is about bringing people together, black and white and Latino and Asian American and Native American, gay and straight, men and women, people born in this country, people who have come into this country. We are about bringing people together, not dividing them.
Neil, CTV News.
Part of our show and is going on now still. For more caucus coverage, make sure to go to our website, collegian.com, for live updates.
Community members flooded into the Laurie Student Center for the Little Shop of Physics 25th Anniversary Open House this past Saturday.
This is the Little Shop of Physics Open House. And Little Shop of Physics is a traveling hands-on science program. Once a year, we set up all of the stuff that we take out to schools, plus a whole bunch of stuff that just lives on the shelf. And we set it up and just let people engage, explore, experiment. Families come out with their kids and they spend the day going through the light room and the dark room and kind of exploring all the different projects we have that deal with electricity and magnetism and light and color and motion and force and sound and all the principles of physics. And then this year, we have a whole bunch of science partners from other CSU departments on campus. Plus, we have visitors who came from Norway who are doing a show for us, and also some hands-on stuff. We have a group of people who came from Ithaca, New York, who brought the physics bus, and the physics bus is here, and it was out on the plaza. And then we've got some big science spectacles, which are some big scale experiments, which we did at a stadium show last year. We did at Coors Field, and we're bringing those out. So we're pulling out all the stops. We're inviting all of our science buddies. We're bringing out everything we have, and we're inviting the community.
We've got partner rooms, so we've got other organizations here at CSU and in the science education community, and they're letting students play around with bubbles and microscopes and exploring the human body and their muscles. And so it's not just physics anymore, but it's this comprehensive hands-on science awesomeness.
8,000 people, which is roughly 5% the population of Fort Collins, attended the open house. A science equipment garage sale raised over $4,000 for a trip to take the Little Shop of Physics to Namibia, Africa next year. Roughly 150 volunteers made the event possible.
Thursday evening, there was a viewing of the film Fort Collins, The Choice City for Whom, a documentary focused on the problem of racism in Fort Collins. The film, produced by Betty Aragon and directed by Sherry Dew, discussed how local residents feel about the lack of diversity in Fort Collins. According to Aragon, Stanford PhD student Clayton Hurd's research into Fort Collins and social inclusion inspired the film. The research found that minority communities, mainly Hispanics, felt discrimination by the city and community members. This is what Aragon had to say about the film.
Racism exists in Fort Collins. It is not the choice city for all of us. We all want to be part of the choice city. How do we get there?
If you would like to see the trailer for the film, search Choice City for Whom on YouTube.
Colorado State University is involving more campus departments when considering where to allocate discretionary budget funding. Previously, department vice presidents reviewed proposals from their own departments and recommended them to Provost Rick Miranda. But this year, committees made up of faculty, staff, and students reviewed budget proposals from different areas on campus and provided an overall recommendation of the proposals. The recommendations were based on impacts to student success, research capacity, engagement, infrastructure, return on investment, and risk assessment. Well, that's all the time we have for the news, Rams.
But don't go anywhere. After the break, weather anchor Courtney Frum will have the latest forecast and tell you what you need to wear tomorrow night.
Stay tuned.